Panasonic, the future of office automation. Advanced equipment with an extraordinary concept. The easier, the better. Panasonic offers solutions to your special computer problems. High-speed microprocessors, high-resolution monitors, and high-performance printers, which make them a very easy choice. Panasonic computers and computer peripherals, like our typewriters and copiers, the easier, the better. Panasonic Office Automation.
All roads lead to Sears' biggest automotive sale of the year. Save 30% on Sears' best-selling tire, the Road Handler 45 Radio. Made by Michelin and backed by Sears. Now as low as $44.99, only at Sears. And get superb performance with the Sears heavy-duty gas shock. At $9.99, its price has never been lower. But hurry, this sale is on now.
There's more for your life.
We installed confidence.
At Sears.
Thanksgiving Day, the NFL plays here when the Seahawks battle the Cowboys.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
Isn't that a great shot?
If you're a
Cardinal,
if you're a fellow Cardinal or a female Cardinal, either or.
You're inside. What did you do today, Dad? Well, I was the Cardinal. I was inside the net. I tried to stay warm. Okay. St. Louis leading 16-0 with the ball at their own 30-yard line. Lomax has completed 12 of 22, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he goes to Stump Mitchell. Mitchell, that is his 13th carry. And now is about 45 yards at 13 carries. So he's getting some work, but not a lot of yardage. Pete Koch makes the tackle. Smith, 4 receptions, 61 yards and a touchdown. Green, 4 receptions, 28 yards and a touchdown.
And with 1:52 and counting in the third quarter, St. Louis has got to continue as we look at some of our scores. Dallas finally gets on the scoreboard, 34-7. Seattle continuing with a 21-6 lead over Philadelphia in the third quarter, and San Francisco comfortably over Atlanta, 20-0 in the third as well. But they've got to continue this rushing attack to try and eat some of the time off of the clock. If they go to the air, short passes controlled to Green underneath and to the running backs.
And it's Green back underneath the coverage to the 35, 36-yard line, gain of 4, so it's going to be 3rd down and 4. And Lewis Cooper makes the tackle.
Green does that so well. He has the ability to catch the ball anywhere on the field and break a long one because of his tremendous speed. They call him Jetstream Green.
You don't like that nickname. I've heard better.
I've heard better. Jetstream isn't bad, though. I've heard better. There's a colorful group of people around the NFL come up with great nicknames.
3rd down and 4. St. Louis at their own 36-yard line. Lomax standing in, slips away, little pump fake, has the 1st down, looks for a block, and he goes down at the 46-yard line or the 45-yard line. They'll mark it. So he scrambles for 9 and the 1st down, and the clock continues on its inexorable march to the end of the third quarter.
And a nice fake on the part of Lomax. The book against him is that he doesn't read defense as well. Here he has the presence of mind, though, to doesn't have anything downfield. Nice fake. He pulled it up and faked a linebacker out and thought he was going to throw the football. And then the old crafty veteran slides safely in so that he doesn't miss any more football games.
And there's the countdown to the end of the period. So we will have 3 in the books with the 4th to go. At the end of the third quarter, it is St. Louis 16, Kansas City nothing. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
On Hill Street, meet Sister Chastity.
It's Grace Gardner. Grace. Sister.
It's a new habit, but the old ones are hard to break. Thursday.
Get ready, get set, get to your Ford dealer now. The keys to your new Ford are here. It's the Ford Key Jamboree.
Trade in your old keys before the winter freeze.
F-150 save almost $1,800.
Key to the future.
Taurus save over $700. Buy now before the end of the year and beat the tax law changes.
It's your key to saving.
The Ford Key Jamboree at your local Ford dealer right now.
Anything could happen when you play the all-new Missouri Lottery game, the Show Me Doubler. Just match any 3 amounts and you're a winner. Or rub off 2 like amounts and the word double and win twice the amount.
You seen it? Seen what?
what?
Up to an instant $100,000.
I never did find that other ticket.
You expecting somebody?
You could even win a chance at the weekly jackpot spin for $1 million or more.
That's my cow.
Just like you, I work hard for my money. But up till now, it didn't work hard enough for me. Well, all that's changed. I just opened a new investment savings account at Commerce Bank. And with investment savings, my interest rate grows as my savings grow. The more I save, the more I earn. In fact, when my balance reaches $1,000, I earn money market rates. And I can write checks on the account and use the 24-hour teller for transactions. I work hard for my money. Now, at Commerce Bank, it returns the favor.
Turn on the Plaza lights with TV4 Thanksgiving Day.
You can see not a lot of offensive excitement through 3 quarters, but the St. Louis Cardinals will take it up 16-0. Interestingly, the Kansas City offense by Bill Kenney has produced about 100 yards more per game than they had with Todd Blackledge, but they're less than 150 yards in total offense through 3 quarters.
St. Louis first down, their own 45-yard line, leading 16-0 as they start the final period. They'll play action fake, and it is complete to Farrell, and Farrell has the first down at the 43-yard line of Kansas City. Dino Hackett makes the tackle. A gain of 13 on the play. What about this Cardinal ball club? They've been playing like this all year. They'd have a much better record.
They would. Unfortunately, they have not been playing well. This is and Neil Lomax is the key to this offense. He did not play well through the first part of the season, benched the last couple of weeks. But it's important for him to play well over the next 5 weeks because Gene Stallings has to make a decision. And if they go into the offseason at 2-14 or 3-13, why in the world will he decide to come back with Neil Lomax as a starting quarterback?
First down at the Kansas City 43. By Sikahema, again replacing Stump Mitchell. The pass is to Green. Green has it, and he will go out of bounds at the 33-yard line and may have the first down. That's where he had to go to. Sherman Cockcroft was chasing him. Injury report on Stump Mitchell. He had a sprained toe earlier. Now he has a rib injury, unlikely to return.
Well, that cuts down their ability to run time off the clock with their running game. Farrell is just not the same kind of a running back that Stump Mitchell is. Maybe that's why they're running some of those short patterns on first down as well. I didn't think we'd see them throw the ball unless it was an obvious passing situation. But that last pass to Green, very safe. 5 yards, he stops, and Lomax gets them the ball. It's just like an extended handoff.
And he has Vai Sikahema in the backfield, but he's carried the ball only twice coming into this ball game and has 9 receptions. And here he is. That is only the 3rd time that he has carried the ball on a rushing play from scrimmage this year. Cofield makes the tackle. Sikahema, quite a colorful character. Played his collegiate ball at BYU from Tonga. Born in American Samoa. And he does a fire dance, with the batons, the whole thing.
He can do that in the end zone of BYU.
No, that was his dad that came in the end zone of BYU with the whole outfit. And everybody said, oh, wait a minute.
I think they give him a flag here in the NFL. I mean, that would make Gastineau's sack dance look tame.
Yes, it would be. No, I can't spike the ball, but I'll do my fire dance with the baton. 2nd down and 7 at the 29-yard line. Here's Sikahema. And he will lose a yard to the 30, so it's going to be 3rd down and 8. But St. Louis is attempting to do what you were talking about, and that is, crank down some time. Let's get some time off of that clock. We're moving on the 13-minute mark. Bill Moss with the last tackle.
It's slightly dangerous, though, for Sikahema. Take a look at Bill Moss there. Right off the ball against Chilton. Sneaking up and timing the snap of the ball. So he's the one who really created all the havoc. Simply by knowing an offense, maybe reading a cadence. After you go through a game from 3 quarters, you start jumping on a quarterback as he continues the same cadence. Neil Lomax, if he starts noticing that Moss is trying to guess on his count, watch him to change up a little bit. We'll find out if Moss doesn't get called for being outside once in a while.
Of course, with the injury to Derek Kennard, Ray Brown, who just activated, is in the guard spot. Here's Green. He pulls it down to the 5-yard line. And he beat Deron Cherry, who is a tough man to beat. And it's going to be against Kansas City.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
25 yards on the play to the 5-yard line. 1st down and goal to go.
It's Art still who's offside. Left part of your screen. Just there he is. Just one step quick. Offsides, and Toonie Robbins can't control him. He really leveled the quarterback. Lomax took quite a hit, but still had the ability to get the ball off, and Green makes a nice catch. Lomax, though, take a look at that. You know, under a lot of pressure, he sees somebody barreling down on him, has the presence of mind to get rid of the football. That's what 3/4 of good football will do for you.
First down and goal to go. 5-yard line. 12 minutes, 13 seconds. That is the time remaining. And St. Louis threatens just to blow it open. Now they don't want to make a mistake here. Something is wrong. Lomax did not like what he saw, so he takes a timeout. And that means it will go away and be back in just a moment.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
From the low price of new Chevy S10EL, new towing power of Chevy Astro, new fuel-injected 350 V8 power available in every full-size Chevy, America knows nothing works like a Chevy truck.
This is the new Linear View Writer. To type as fast on an electric typewriter, you'd have to type a lot faster. To make revisions as fast, you'd have to type even faster. To retrieve files as fast, you'd have to go even faster. So to make your job easier and more rewarding, get a Linear View Writer, even faster. Linear, we're easy to use.
Life is full of changes, and State Farm is there.
I'm State Farm Agent George Palmy. If your family's like mine, you'll find reminders of how fast things change. Wasn't so long ago, my daughter Jill was riding in this. Now she drives this. Look around you. If you see your insurance needs have changed, auto, home, life, or health, see your State Farm agent for a family insurance checkup. The advice is free.
And like a good neighbor,
and the decisions are yours.
State Farm is there.
Today's game is being brought to you by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by GMAC, the financial services people from General Motors. In the second half, Neil Lomax has completed 7 of 9 passes for 91 yards, and he has completed 6 in a row, and has a first down and goal to go at the Kansas City 5-yard line. And he gives to Vi Sikahema and has a yard, and that's going to be about it. Pete Koch makes the tackle for Kansas City. Mark it at the 4. It'll be second down, goal to go. I don't think they can run it in the end zone. I think he has to throw.
No,
But
it's also a gamble with Vi Sikahema simply because here's the rookie, only carried twice this year in rushing situations, and you're in a critical point of the football game. Stump Mitchell is out. Sikahema is not used to that running of the ball this season, and for that reason, a little bit of danger on the part of the Cardinal offense.
Lomax throws. He rolls out to the right, then throws, and the pass is incomplete, so it'll be third down and goal to go. Sikahema, the intended receiver, and Dino Hackett was there for the defense. So one more opportunity, then you go with the field goal, of course.
It's basically a safe pass, a run-pass option. Lomax, when he gets to the corner, has the choice of either running or passing, but there it was Art Still applying the pressure, forcing him to go into the end zone.
And, of course, if they come up short here, the kicker is Eric Schubert, who they just signed this week. And he has hit from 21 yards and came up short and to the right from 46 yards away. They came up, did not have an opportunity on an extra point because the holder, Kent Austin, bobbled the ball. So he has been good and bad, some good, some bad. But this is third down. Lomax turns around. I thought he was trying to point something out to the referee, that there's something he does not like about the call, because apparently he was going right into the teeth of the defense, and again, he does not want to make a mistake, because a touchdown here could, make it ever so difficult for Kansas City.
Even a field goal. A field goal puts them up by 19 points, and then it forces Kansas City to go for 3 full touchdowns. Now, as it is, they only need 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Feasible with 11 and a half minutes left in the game. But still, he's being booed. Look at those numbers. 16 to 27. That's not a bad day, I got to tell you. And this crowd is still booing him when he turns around and takes a timeout. This is the most critical part of the football game because the points here will put it away for St. Louis. No,
this is the football game in reality.
You're right. It absolutely is. It'll put the game out of reach if they can get anything out of it, a field goal or anything else. Lomax, though, this has been a difficult year for him. He came out with an autobiography called Third and Long, where he criticized...
kind of like Stabler's, wasn't he? He talked about everybody.
Well, he talked a little bit. He talked about Jim Hannafin, who was fired here as the head coach a year ago. He talked about Earl Farrell and his problems, drug problems over the past year. So for that reason, Lomax has gone through a very, very difficult season.
Have you written a book while your experiences with the Miami Dolphins?
I gave up writing for Lent last year.
I gave up Lent for what? No. All right. 4-yard line. 3rd down and goal to go. And Broderick Sargent is in the backfield. Lomax is going to throw. It's there. J.T. Smith, his 2nd reception for a score.
Lomax showing great patience. He didn't have anybody now. He wanted to go to the right side, but he had the presence of mind to come back to the left. And then J.T. Smith was not open, but he had to change his pattern, just find an open area, make sure he stays in the end zone, because, of course, if he crosses back over, it would have been a 4th down situation. Good play on the part of J.C. Smith and by Neil Lomax.
Eric Schubert to attempt the extra point. Like all kickers tried out this week from New York. Did not bring a change of clothes, parked his car in short-term parking, and he made the team.
He's going to have quite a bit when he gets back home.
Listen to the heartbeat. Listen to the heartbeat of America.
When you're ready for the real world, put yourself in today's Chevy Sprint and listen to your heartbeat.
Heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
The American dream is one of hope and possibilities. We're GMAC, people who help make dreams come true. First, we made automobile financing easy. Now, home mortgages, financing for a boat, even MIC insurance to keep your dreams safe. We're the financial services people from General Motors. GMAC, official sponsor of America's dreams.
You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
Don't resist. On December 7th, this woman is a fraud. Anastasia is dead. The mystery of Anastasia comes to life.
For Kansas City, they lost last week by at Mile High Stadium to Denver and needed to get something going. They obviously are not going to get anything going. Did this take them out of the playoffs?
Well, there's 4 games left, and they wind up 2 games behind the Denver Broncos because they lost today. But more importantly, how do they run up against the teams they're in competition with for the wild card spot? It doesn't mean they're out of it completely, but it does mean they'll have to win their next 4 games, the remaining 4 games in a row, and that includes games at home with Denver and away with the LA Raiders. A tough road if they do indeed lose this afternoon.
Boyce Green on the return leans across the 30 to the 31 of the 32-yard line. I tell you something interesting that's happened, and don't forget it. That's a warning.
I never forget anything you tell me.
The remaining schedule of the Los Angeles Raiders. And their toughest game on their remaining schedule may have been last Thursday night against San Diego that they won in overtime. There's the time remaining here.
Well, they also do have to play Kansas City at home in the Coliseum, which will be an interesting contest because of the battle, the war, that erupted the last time they played, that time at Arrowhead Stadium.
Kansas City at their own 31-yard line, first down, trailing 23-0. Little swing pass to the right side. Here is Herman Hurd, and Herman goes out at the 37-yard line. So he picks up 6. 6 is going to be second down and 4. Carl Carter was there for St. Louis.
And this is not a fait accompli. It's not over yet, but Kansas City has got to go to a 2-minute offense. I mean, it's just 11 minutes left in the game. There you see Kansas City's remaining contest, a 500 record for their opponents. Buffalo next week, they can get healthy against them maybe, but they thought they'd get healthy here this afternoon against St. Louis too.
And then look, they have Denver at home, the Raiders on the road. They finish there with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh played a pretty good game against the Cleveland today. Did that end up in overtime? Or was it one?
Yes, it did. 37-31. It was a touchdown pass by Kozar.
Yeah. So, so Pittsburgh is playing better. So
and they'll have to, because they've got the Bears next week in Chicago.
Herman Hurd on that last carry, and there was a flag, and the penalty is going to be against Kansas City. But and also Herman Hurd comes up limping, and Paige is waving to the sideline, so somebody will come out and help him. And Boyce Green will come back in. The ball goes back to the 33-yard line, and it's going to be second down and 8. Kenney to throw. And this is off to Green. And perhaps the fact that Kansas City has been without Carlos Carson, who is their main deep threat, David Galloway, with the last tackle, took more out of the offense than anybody realized.
Well, Carlos Carson has missed several games this year due to injury, and it does take away their deep threat, as you mentioned. It changes the way they've got to structure their offensive game plan. Here, they're going to the short passing as they have all day long. In this situation, though, the St. Louis Cardinals are not going to get beaten deep. They're going to play that zone defense and force Kansas City to take a lot of time if they are indeed going to score at all.
First down at the 41-yard line. 10:20 remaining. That's plenty of time if they can get anything going, but they haven't been able to thus far. Kenney goes deep. Paige, and it is incomplete. Good defensive play, a little bit underthrown, but Carter turned around and made the play with his left hand. So it'll be second and 10.
Carter had little to worry about on the play. It's a 3-deep zone back there. All he had to do was make sure he didn't get beat for the score. And so any move that Paige may have made before underneath the coverage, don't worry about it. Just go back and make sure he doesn't beat you for the big one. And Carter goes up and makes the play against Stephone Paige.
And a conference being held by the officials. Here's the call. Rick Cashin says, don't mouth off.
12 men on the field on the defense, 5 yards, first down.
No wonder they had 3 deep. They had 6 linebackers, 3 deep people, and hope that 4 or 5 guys rushing the quarterback. They had some kind of a problem as the play was beginning to be run. St. Louis was running players in and off the field, and that does not bode well for St. Louis.
And that's their first penalty in the ball game.
Well, they had the one that they declined earlier, but you're right. That's the first one that counts.
It's been accepted. No, I think it's first down and 5. They moved the chains. No, the chain should have stayed back, and I believe it was first and 10 at the 41, should be first and 5 at the 46. They'll have to move the chains back. And while they're doing that, we'll go back and check the scores. In the third quarter, Washington continues to lead Dallas. Rams continue to lead New Orleans. A lot of changes.
The Saints an opportunity to crawl into first place in the West for the first time maybe ever this late in the season for the problem over the past, at least, New Orleans Saints.
San Francisco and Seattle both leading in their ball game. The attendance, the tickets sold was 36,420 here. There were 6,700 no-shows, so actually in attendance 29,680 here today. This is off to Mike Pruitt. And Pruitt has the first down as he just reaches out to the St. Louis 49-yard line. Herman Hurd has a sprained knee, and he will take it in for an x-ray. And if we get a report, of course, we will pass it right on to you. Well, a moment ago, we took a look at Kansas City's remaining game. We also, there goes Hurd. We also wanted to have an opportunity to work in here the remaining games of the Denver Broncos and of the Los Angeles Raiders, because that, I think, is where that race in the West is going to develop with what Kansas City has done here today. And here's Mike Pruitt. Pruitt goes to the 40. He picks up 9 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 1. Carl Carter making the tackle along with Bob Clasby, and removing on the 9-minute mark of time remaining.
Talked about nicknames before. Clasby's nickname, the House. I guess that encompasses the refrigerator, the ice cube, and all other major appliances you may want to take into your home.
Second down and 1. Flag is down. The pass is complete over the middle to Walt Arnold, the tight end, but there was a marker on the play.
Offside, number 79 on the defense. That penalty is refused.
Bob
Griffin, the
Clasby.
passer, number 76 on the defense. He's tacked on 15 yards.
First one called on the House.
The second one on Stafford Mays.
And so the Cardinals, who went for such a long time without any penalties, now start drawing them in bunches. And they'll take the ball down to about the 12-yard line. Chiefs 5 times for 68. The Cardinals now 2 for 20. And the ball at the 12.
You're mentioning the House. You probably remember Bob Clasby's father, who was captain for Harvard. His father, Richard, 1953.
1953, you're right.
Do you remember him?
Of course. Going to the corner of the end zone. You're not going to trap me.
1952. Let's see. I don't want to tell you about it. Now, that's the difference between...
Do you remember him?
No, I don't remember.
If you remember him, we really got a story.
That's the difference between a good pattern on the goal line. Stephone Paige ran a terrific pattern down there. He got on top of a defensive back, forced him into a trail position, and stuttered just for a second, then took off into the corner of the end zone. But Bill Kenney, just a little bit off today, overthrew him in the corner.
A trail position.
Trail position. Get the defensive back exactly behind you so that he's got to react to what you do. If you stutter at all, he's got to stop. And then you take off again. You create a separation between yourself and the defensive back. That's why us slow wide receiver types were able to get open on occasion down there on the goal line, because you force a defensive back to sit behind you, exactly behind you. He watches your numbers, and you stop for a second. He stops, and you take off again, and there's a great separation created. Stephone Paige does that, well, maybe as good as anybody in football.
8:37 is the official time on the clock. The time on the clock here is at 8:51. They'll run it down to 8:37, the official time. Of course, the clock is official, but also is double-checked by one of the officials on the field. And they need to do that, and that's the reason for the pause right here. Kenney, by the way, thus far has completed 15 of 25 for 119 yards and no touchdown. 119 yards through 3.5 quarters is a very... That's a poor day.
And it indicates the absence of Carlos Carson, 15 completions for just 119 yards. That is the absence of any deep threat whatsoever.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's only, what, about 12, 13 yards per reception, which is a very low average.
You USC guys can figure that stuff out.
No, it's under 10, because 10 would be 150. So about 8 yards, 7 or 8 yards. So that really is low. Took me twice to get it right. 2nd and 10. The ball at the 12-yard line. The pass over the middle is juggled and then held by Walt Arnold at the 6-yard line. So a gain of 6. It will be 3rd down and 4 at the 6. Ron Monaco was there. His first NFL start.
Was Stephone Paige open or not? It's a zone defense because the cornerback Cedric Mack lets him go, although he was wide open there for a second. Leonard Smith, number 45, the closest man to Stephone Paige.
And Ron Monaco, who made the tackle, rookie free agent from South Carolina. His brother Rob was the backup center last year and said, why don't you give my younger brother a chance? And they did. And here's a touchdown pass to Stephone Paige, and the Chiefs are finally on the scoreboard.
And that's the exact pattern that I talked before about, that Stephone Paige runs so well. That time he had Carl Carter forced behind him in that trail position, and he wins. Watch the bottom of your screen coming in. Well, that time he didn't get it completely behind him, but he did give him a move at the line of scrimmage, and that forced Carl Carter to wait a second. Stephone Paige blew past him and got open, makes a nice catch for the score. And he knows how to spike. You see, he spiked it with 2 feet on the ground. He never jump up in the air.
Nick Lowery to attempt the point after. And it is good. And the St. Louis Cardinals now lead by a score of 23-7. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment.
You might get caught out in the middle of nowhere with a dead battery, but I won't. This is a Delco maintenance-free battery, and when this green eye is showing, it means I've got all the starting power I need, up to 770 cranking amps. If you think your battery's fading fast, I'd start thinking Delco.
Now through January 3rd, get a $5 rebate on most Delco batteries. See a participating AC Delco retailer for details.
Never wait for trouble.
Thanks. You know, it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, why does Coors develop their own special barley? Have their own fleet of refrigerated trucks? They even designed and built their own malt house. Well, there's a saying, when you want it done right, do it yourself. This is right.
Listen to the heartbeat. Listen to the heartbeat of America.
When you have a style all your own, put yourself in today's Chevy Spectrum and listen to your heartbeat.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
America's favorite pastime returns to NBC as the nation's top rollers battle it out for Bowler of the Year honors. Join Jay Randolph and Hall of Famer Earl Anthony for the PBA Fall Tour next Saturday on NBC.
7 minutes and 53 seconds left. The margin 16 points. Is it too soon to onside kick?
No, they've got onside kick in here. You know, down by 16 points with less than 8 minutes to go. You've got nothing to lose. Onside kick it right here.
Very positive.
I don't think there's much question.
I think there is. Ball must go 10 yards before it can be touched or recovered by the kicking team. And just to punch it right over the back of him and get a fumble. They got the bounce. Goes back up in the hands of Earl Farrell. And he will have the ball at the 24, the 25-yard line. So the Cardinals, with Dino Hackett there for Kansas City, have the ball, which is exactly what they wanted to do, and will be at their own 25-yard line.
And John McAfee is going to rely on his defense to get him back in this football game, obviously, because a first down here at all will really doom the Kansas City Chiefs. There you take a look at the remaining games for the L.A. Raiders, and they really have the easier path to this whole deal.
Oh, yes. In the West, they can win the West. Their opponents have won 15 and lost 30, and that's a winning percentage of 33%. I mean, that's a very low winning percentage. There are the standings. Denver has the toughest road to hoe in the West.
And they're up by just one football game with 4 left to go after this is completed.
And now, of course, here's Bicycahima, and he'll pick up a yard. Yeah, we'll give him a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9. They were running the clock down now. Now, here's what Denver does. Look, it's almost reversed as far as the one loss, and that the Denver opponents, they're right at 63-64% as far as their winning percentage. Oh, and they've got tough teams in there, and they end up with Seattle, who can, you know, not playing that well up to this weekend, but you know, are capable of doing it. So they, it's going to be tough for Denver.
Yes, it is. We thought weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, as a matter of fact, that Denver could walk away with the division. And now the Raiders crawl right back into it.
And then what Kansas City has done for themselves by the way that they played here. Here's Ron Wolfley, the ball carrier for St. Louis. St. Louis, I don't want to take anything away from them. They have really played well today. But Kansas City has let one get away that they thought that they could put in the win column. Here, Lewis Cooper making the tackle. He's had a good day. That they may have taken themselves out of contention in the West.
They may have. They need to go after the wild card, and the Raiders winning on Thursday night and the Patriots winning today, they go a game up on Kansas City.
And rather than being just, for the Chiefs standpoint, a game behind Denver, they are 2 games back with the Raiders in between. That means they've got to climb over somebody. And it's 3rd down and about 1.5 yards, and looks as if he'll come up a ½ yard short of the 1st down. So the Cardinals will be kicking, and Kansas City could well have an opportunity here as Bill Moss and Lewis Cooper make the tackle.
The shame with Kansas City, though, is that they have made such great strides this year. Defensively, Walt Corey's come in and done a super job with their defense. They come up with a couple of young linebackers who'll be there for a long time and can play. Their passing game has always been strong. They've had some injuries to the wide receivers. It's cut down their effectiveness here today. But the running attack is the one thing they have not improved. They went out and they got a couple of people from the USFL and Mark Addix and Irv Eatman to improve their offensive line. They make a trade with Washington. They get Donnelly in here. So they've done well. They're improving everything, but they need that one running back to make them an effective overall offensive club.
4th down and 1. The kicking team came out, and the chain gang came with them. They had to send them back. Here's pressure. He still gets it away. Jeff Smith takes it at the 30-yard line. And he'll return to the 35-yard line. So Kansas City will have the ball at their own 35-yard line. 5:46 left to go in the ball game. St. Louis in front.
So they don't onside kick, and they...
This high-performance drink cleans your fuel system to help maintain peak performance. STP gas treatment, the high-performance drink for your car.
Driving on your old antifreeze another year can be risky. Weak, neglected antifreeze can cause freeze-up and make a radiator look this bad, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. So don't push your luck, change it once a year with fresh Prestone.
Everyone needs a little adventure in their life. So why not enter the Great Stanley Tool Adventure? You could win a Chevy S10 Blazer to get you away from it all. A Mercury-powered Larson boat to put you in the middle of nature. And $1,000 in Stanley tools to help you do things right. Hey, the Blazer, the boat, the motor, the tools, you could win it all in the Great Stanley Adventure.
I think this dock needs a little more work.
I got a lot of Stanley tools.
Tonight, they had a job to do, but it wasn't the one their parents expected. Where Police Academy left off, a new semester begins. Combat High tonight.
This is Charlie Jones, Jimmy Cephalo. It is in the cool of the evening in St. Louis, Busch Stadium, but it is warm for the Cardinals. They are going for their 3rd victory of the year, pulling an upset over Kansas City, and they lead 23-7 with 5:46 left to go in the ballgame. Chiefs still with 3 timeouts remaining. St. Louis has only 1 remaining, but they have the lead of 16 points. Boy screen. Makes the tackle. I don't understand. I think you got to throw.
You've got to. I mean, what's the use of a little trick play? It doesn't make any sense. They've got to throw the ball downfield. 16 points now with 5.5 minutes left.
And a Cardinal is injured on the play. So we stop the clock with 5:31. Tonight, program note on Our House. Will the family stand behind Gus when he falls in love? What do you think? What do you think?
I'm not sure.
And Easy Street and Valerie are trading places, and it's a hit. Valerie followed by Easy Street on Sunday. Then the NBC world premiere movie, Combat High.
Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, I thought you might have watched it in preview.
No, I did.
It's a
preview. Chance to see it. 2 crazy cadets turn an academy into chaos in Combat High. It's not.
Who's in that movie?
It's not the movie we had last Sunday night. I'd say this is a pretty good movie, but it's not the movie we had last Sunday night. That's Nico Noga coming out of the ball game.
Nico Noga, one of his teammates, said he runs like a deer and he hits like a soda machine.
He's a fast pop. I just made that up. It's terrible. He runs like a deer and hits like a soda machine. Who said that?
I don't know. One of his teammates that I read this week. I'm not sure which one it was, but I think it's E.J. Jr. That's right.
Second down and 6. Kenney over the middle. And this is Jonathan Hayes. His first reception of the ball game. The tight end to the 46-yard line. And that's a first down.
And they finally go to the 2-minute offense here with 5 minutes left in the contest.
First and 10, 47.
Kenney goes deep, and Paige could not get inside, and 2 flags are going to come down. Paige wanted to come inside and run a post pattern, I believe, and they just wouldn't let him.
He bumped up with Carl Carter about 15 yards downfield with the ball in the air, past the illegal chuck area.
Pass interference, number 41 on the defense, touchdown.
Down here, bottom part of your screen there, you see he wants to get inside, and Carl Carter sticks his arms out, gets the bump with the ball in the air, and it is pass interference as opposed to an illegal chuck. Now, if it was down past the 5 yards and the ball was not in the air, it would have simply been that penalty of 5 yards because of the illegal chuck. But there, the ball in the air, and so they get the pass interference call.
At the St. Louis 36, he goes to Paige, and it is incomplete. So bring it back to the Cardinal 36. It'll be second down and 10. And Emil Harry has come in. The speedster from Stanford is a wide receiver. And I believe Paige is going to come out and take a quick breather.
And that's all the wide receivers, pure wide receiver they have. They have Henry Marshall, Stephone Paige, and Emil Harry. Carson, of course, out with the injury. They're down to only 3 healthy people out there.
Wait a minute, is that Carlos Carson wide to the far side? He's not supposed to play. To the near side, and the pass is complete, and out is Harry.
And that is Carlos Carson.
I thought so that we picked him up. Number 88. He has that sprained foot, and he is in the ballgame. The last play went to the 25-yard line.
You notice Carlos Carson, was wearing those gloves.
Yes, I like those gloves.
Receivers have gotten the gloves that the deep-sea divers use because they've got that great dexterity, little suction cups on the end. They're very warm and very thin.
And boy, do they hold on to the football. Incomplete. Carson, the intended receiver. The line of scrimmage at 25. We'll bring it back. It'll be second down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Just over 4.5 minutes remaining.
Let's see if we can't pick up a limp or something on part of Carson. It looks like he's running fairly well there against Cedric Mack. Although the speed of Carlos Carson on a normal day might have gotten closer to that football. Mack, nice positioning on it, but it looked like he was striding fairly well.
Second down and 10. Marshall and Paige now the wide receivers. And it is complete. This time to Henry Marshall. And Marshall steps out at the 13-yard line. Has the first down, and he stops the clock at 4:31 left to go. Chiefs with a long road back here. Down by 16 points.
Touchdown, 9 points away. They still need 2 more scores if they get into the end zone here. And so it would take at least 1 successful onside kick for them to get back into this football game.
But stranger things have happened. Let's see if Kansas City can do it. 13-yard line of St. Louis. First down. It's high, but it's there, and it's a score. And it is Stephone Paige with the touchdown. That is the 7th touchdown for Paige this year. And the margin is now 10 with the extra point to come.
Surprised that he was that wide open under the circumstances, down by 16 points inside the 15-yard line. And wide open, not a player within 4 or 5 yards of Stephone Paige.
Kenney to hold. The extra point is up, and it is good, and it's now a 23-14 ball game. And for Nick Lowery, He now has 113 consecutive extra points. And we have 4:26 left in the ball game.
Let's find out how Stephone Paige got this wide open. Being a wide receiver is kind of like being an architect. You build things. You build a pattern through the game. You go one way and come back the other. That time, he gets behind the entire defense. It was Carl Carter, number 41, the closest one to him. Let's see what he does. Carter's got a man-to-man, it appears. Gives that good outside move and beats him back to the post. But it's like being an architect. You build things through a contest. You come up and you set a play. Sometimes you will purposely get covered in a play where you're not the primary receiver, but you set the defensive back up. You make him think, oh, I always use this outside route all the time. But you know you're not the primary. The next time when you are, you go to that outside route, and all of a sudden, boom, you cut back inside, as he did there, and you score a touchdown.
And it was his second touchdown reception. The ball game runs his totals, as you saw, to his 8th touchdown on the year. And it's a 23-14 ball game. And now all of a sudden, remember, 4:26 left. That's a lot of time. From the standpoint is Kansas City has 3 timeouts.
And it's only 9 points.
And the Cardinals have only 1 timeout remaining in case they get in any kind of trouble.
Well, the onside kick here becomes very important. Now, Kansas City can rely, as they did on the last time they kicked off, on their defense to get the football back. But I still think you've got to go for the onside kick. And St. Louis is lined up in anticipation of the onside.
Right. Now, do you do that, or do you just kick it deep and figure that your defense can hold them? Because your defense is going to have to hold them somewhere along the line.
Well, but if your defense is going to hold, they can hold them here as well as they can hold them 20 yards back. If you can, any first down throws the game out of whack as far as Kansas City is concerned. So you've got to rely on your defense stopping them at 3 plays. Try the onside. If you get it, fine. If not, your defense goes in. You hope they hold them at 3 plays, and you get the ball back anyway. Why kick it downfield without any chance at all of getting it on the onside?
Now, one of the things that there's several kind of onsides kick that Nick Lowery will hit the ball high, wanting on like the 2nd or the 3rd bounce for it to kick up in the air, so that everybody's got a chance his teammates have a chance to come down with it.
Especially on AstroTurf.
Yes, and the ball must go 10 yards. Remember, before the 10 yards can be recovered by the Cardinals. After the 10 yards can be recovered by Kansas City. It's strange. Now they get the hop downfield. I'm surprised.
I am too. Lowery seemed to look for that open area and split kick it as if you would when you don't want a return to come your way. Instead of the straight outside kick.
Was he trying something
to hit somebody?
That didn't work? No.
That might have been it. Maybe he was trying to hit somebody in the front line, but it seemed like he picked the open area and went right to it.
Like a moving target? Hit him and maybe it'll drop?
Well, on occasion, a kicker will try to do that. Find someone up front, a big target, kick it to him and make the ball hit him after the 10-yard mark and then bounce back toward your own players. But
that's really getting it complicated, though, isn't it? All right. St. Louis has the ball. 4:17 is the time remaining. St. Louis leading 23-14. They led 23-0. It was more comfortable for them then. Sikahima getting quite a workout because of Stump Mitchell being out with a rib problem. And Aaron Pearson, rookie from Mississippi State, taking the 11th round of the draft. And there's a look at the most important numbers besides the scoreboard itself.
Kansas City with 3 timeouts remaining.
2nd and 7.
I imagine they'll elect to use at least one before the 2-minute warning because they bump that up together and wind up getting the football back with a little bit more time. Not to just simply save them for the last minute of the contest. Lomax looks like he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
5 seconds in the 30-second clock. They'll use that all of that. Ron Wolford gets the call as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WDAF TV4 Kansas City.
This is Charlie Jones, Jimmy Stephone with 3:15 and counting. That is the time remaining here at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals in front of the Chiefs with an upset working 23-14. But Kansas City has scored the last 2 touchdowns, a 6-yard pass and a 13-yard pass from Bill Kenney to Stephone Paige. And the margin is 9. And remember that Nick Lowery's longest field goal has a career field goal of 58 yards. Incomplete. Roy Green, the intended receiver. That stops the clock, and it is 4th down and 6.
The Cardinals surprisingly went to two very strange and very conservative plays during that first part of that series. They ran a strange little pitch play the first time out, don't get very many yards, come back with another running play, and then go to a shotgun, which seems to be inconsistent to me.
Program note to those viewers who have just joined us to watch Our House. Please stay tuned, as Our House will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game. Jeff Smith signals for the fair catch. It gets away from him. He may not have touched it. And at first touching by St. Louis, that will be the point where Kansas City will take over the ball.
That's the second time he's done that. The second time, the exact play, the ball bounced just about 2 yards behind him. Maybe the winds are swirling in here. That it was a swirling wind before, but that's very unusual that Smith would misjudge two punt returns in a row, and that was critical. I mean, that cost him another 10 or 12 yards.
47-yard catch. These are the early games. The Giants edging Denver. Right, there was 6 seconds to go, and we'll come back to all those scores in a minute. We don't want to rush them to too big a hurry. First down for Kansas City. The ball at their own 18-yard line. Trailing by 9. Far side has a man. It is there. It is Henry Marshall. Big play for the Chiefs. Are they going to rule it incomplete?
Henry Marshall,
he was juggling it going out?
Yeah, I see he just dropped it over there on the far sideline, but he was wide open over there in the corner.
I thought he had it. Let's see if we can take another look.
2nd and 10.
As you see, wide open. He beats Cedric Mack. It just goes straight through his arms.
It does. I saw him streaking. I never picked up the ball. I thought that he had it. Oh. 2nd and 10, back at the 18. Cardinals still hanging on. You're a St. Louis fan, you know, you got all the fingers crossed on this one. Then he steps away, drops it to Paul Kaufman, and Kaufman is dropped.
And Kaufman makes the mistake, surprisingly for the veteran, of tumbling back inside instead of heading for the sideline, but there is a flag down.
So the clock is stopped. 2:20. Clipping against Kansas City.
Clipping, number 40 on the offense, still 2nd down.
You see Boyce Green going to the back of, is that Cedric? No, it's Carl Carter, number 41. And really an unusual, he didn't have to push it at all. He still made the tackle. In that circumstance, just let him go, just allow the receiver to try to get out of bounds.
Those are mistakes you just simply cannot make as we have a look at the early scores. And these are the games now going on with ours. And here it is St. Louis 23, Kansas City 14.
Oh, Seattle just a point now of Philadelphia coming back.
And the 2-minute warning will now be given to both benches. So with 2 minutes to go, it is St. Louis 23, Kansas City 14, and we'll be back to Busch Stadium in just a moment.
AT&T, the right choice.
Denver trails San Diego by 4 late in the game, but John Elway passes his Broncos down to the Charger 1-yard line. 38 seconds remain. Should Elway roll out on a pass-run option or hand off to one of his backs? What would you do?
I just lost him. Hey, Chief, we need an 800 number.
We need more lines.
I think we need help.
I think we need a fax machine. I've been waiting for
Computer, new phones. I think we need help.
Today, what a growing business needs most is finding out what it needs most. From long distance to phone systems to telemarketing, AT&T has the answers.
No, but we need good stuff.
I think we need help.
Call our small business specialists. We can help.
What did you decide? A pass-run option can be effective, but it's also risky. So Elway handed to Sammy Winder, who secured the come-from-behind win for the visiting Broncos. Denver made the right choice.
Kansas City is letting the ball game get away from themselves. They had an opportunity here. They didn't even snap the ball or call a timeout prior to the 2 minutes.
Yeah, they fall apart completely there with just a little bit more than 2 minutes to go in the contest. You're at the line of scrimmage. You've got to snap the ball because you get the play off as well as getting the 2 minutes after the play is complete. So actually, you really save a timeout. Now, it's still 3 timeouts remaining for them. They have not used any.
But they would have gotten one more play out.
Right, they would have gotten another play out. So they either snapped the ball or used a timeout before the 2-minute warning hits. But Bill Kenney was caught sleeping in that occasion and did not get the play off. And as a result, the 2-minute warning sounded.
These are mistakes you simply cannot afford to make. 2nd down and 14. Kansas City at their 14. Trailing 23-14. Kenney throws, and it is complete at the 39-yard line to Henry Marshall. And Kansas City in their hurry-up offense, and the clock continues to move. Now remember, to win, they need a touchdown and a field goal. Far side, and the pass is, they're going to call the pass. Are they going to call it good there? Yes, they're going to call it good and out of bounds, stopping the clock. 1:34, it is Henry Marshall at the 47-yard line of St. Louis. And there are the numbers that the Chiefs are facing. And they have the first down. And the reason that I mentioned the fact that you can take the scoring plays in any order is that they may want to, if circumstances dictate, they may want to take the field goal first.
Right, they need a field goal and a touchdown. Yeah. So if they get into a position it's 4th and long, they may as well try and kick a field goal here.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. Just another option. This is dropped off and incomplete off of the hands of Mike Pruitt. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 47. And also remember that Nick Lowery can really nail it. He came up short from 46 yards away in this ball game, but he has hit this year from 47. Twice in his career has hit from 58 yards away, and has also hit from 57 and 54. And those are awesome numbers. Emil Harry is in as one wide receiver. It is 2nd down and 10. And he steps forward. He goes deep into double coverage at the 5-yard line, going to Harry. They're just dropping back in center field, waiting for him. Carter was there, and that Lionel Washington back with him, I believe. So it's going to be 3rd down and 10. Now you're back at the 47-yard line of St. Louis.
And they need just one pass completion to get within Lowery's range with 3 timeouts left. They can either try for the onside kick, and if they don't get it with 3 timeouts left, rely on their defense to hold St. Louis. So they've crawled back into the football game despite making some mistakes, like the Marshall drop on the sideline, which would have put them in an earlier position here after the first play of this series, and a mistake by Kenney by not getting a playoff before the 2-minute warning.
3rd and 10. It is incomplete. Marshall, the intended receiver. The official saying the ball had been tipped, therefore the defender can go ahead and unload on the receiver.
I believe so. He kept giving that tip signal to Henry Marshall, who looked around to complain because it appeared as if he was hit prior to the ball getting there. But if the ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, the defensive back has the right to go through the receiver and bump him before the ball arrives.
Now we're at the moment of truth. 4th down and 10. 47-yard line of St. Louis. All that other speculation will go over the wayside here if you don't pick up the first down. It is knocked away by Cedric Mack. Walt Arnold, the intended receiver, the Cardinals hold, and they take over on down at their own 47-yard line.
And Kenney wanted a flag here as well. Let's take a look to see if Mack got it. Gets his left arm around and knocks the ball down. The question is, and we can't see it from this angle, did he lock his right arm around the receiver, Arnold, and pull him down at the same time he was knocking the ball away? Apparently not, because the official on that backside, looking at it, did not call it.
And St. Louis has the ball at their own 47-yard line, needing now only to run off 1:12 off of the clock. But remember, Kansas City has their 3 timeouts, and now, of course, will use them to try and have at least one more opportunity.
See, the 3 timeouts remaining don't do them any good. They had opportunity to call the timeouts prior and did not utilize them. You can't carry them over to next week. They don't get 6 next week because they didn't use 3 today.
But St. Louis has played an excellent football game. This is a ball club You know, and when you talk to the people here or you look at their local television show, that Kansas City takes the time out here, and so we'll go away, and I'll finish that thought when we come back.
Bob, I need a trainer.
How about Eddie?
He's just a kid.
So was I.
You've worked long and hard to get there. When the time comes, you hope you're ready.
You make America work. This bus for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood age for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This bus for you. Take me back where I belong. Take me where this heart was born. Just take me as I am and let me stay. Take me home. Good year, take me home. Never matters how far I go. Good year, take me home.
As we come back, Lomax completing 17 of 29, 185 yards. He's thrown for 3 touchdowns, intercepted 1 time. And he has played well. Second down. Kansas City's defense trying to strip the ball. Ron Wolfley is the ball carrier with Art Still and Bill Moss there. Kansas City will take their second timeout here, and that means that it is now time for the Budweiser Most Valuable Player Award. And today's MVP is J.T. Smith. 2 touchdown receptions, 5 receptions for 65 yards. And remember, it is sweet revenge for J.T. because he was with the Kansas City Chiefs for 7 years before they let him go.
And interestingly enough, the last time these two teams played, he wound up returning a punt for a touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs to beat St. Louis.
That's
so
right.
He had the double whammy.
And Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all of the MVPs selected throughout the National Football League this season. So congratulations to J.T. Smith. 1 minute and 3 seconds. That is the time remaining. Next week, Kansas City home to host Buffalo, and St. Louis is here to host the Washington Redskins.
So the schedule doesn't get any easier for the Cardinals. But as we said coming in, the Cardinals did play a good football game today, and it bodes well for Gene Stallings because under these circumstances, it's the coach's responsibility to get a team ready to play, and apparently he did that very well today.
3rd down and 8, the ball at the 49-yard line. Kansas City with 1 timeout remaining. A little play action fake and then a pitch by Sikahima, 47-yard line. Kansas City to see if they will take the last timeout. Yes, they do, but they still let 4 or 5 seconds just kind of slip away. Pete Koch with the tackle. Be sure to join us on Thursday for the traditional Thanksgiving Day football on NBC Sports. Your day kicks off with NFL 86 at 3:30 Eastern Time with Bob Costas. And then the Seattle Seahawks, hopefully on the comeback trail, will be going to Dallas. And boy, Dallas getting wiped up today. They are still, of course, a contender for the playoffs, as the Cowboys always are. It's a Thanksgiving tradition that continues this Thursday at 3:30 Eastern Time right here on NBC Sports. And then next Sunday, we'll be in Chicago for the Pittsburgh Bear game, where it's going to be cold again.
It's going to be cold. Pittsburgh's been playing better,
yes,
as you said, and the Bears had a real struggle.
Bears escaped.
And Jim McMahon was scheduled to play today. I don't know if he did or not, but he was scheduled after the shoulder soreness going away this week to come back in and play.
And since our telecast goes into Chicago, did Jim McMahon play today in that ball game? We will double check that. Everybody in Chicago that's watching this, they know. They know.
That's right, they do.
54 seconds left here. Taken at the 20-yard line, a fair catch. And this was Emil Harry.
So they did make the switch after Smith making the mistake of not fielding the ball back there. Emil Harry back on the punt return.
McMahon did play today. And Kansas City now out of timeouts. 48 seconds left. And St. Louis leading 23-14. 28 yards on that last kick. Kenney back to throw. Deep sideline and maybe intercepted. No, they're going to rule it incomplete. Marshall, the intended receiver.
That's still a tremendous play by Carl Carter.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was in that trail position, as I mentioned before. Only he had deep help. Someone is behind him, so he doesn't have to worry about the receiver going deep. He just follows him all the way around and dives, makes a nice play by cutting the ball off from the intended receiver, Henry Marshall.
McMahon, 12 of 32, 95 yards, intercepted 3 times, ineffective, replaced by Tomta.
And so the layoff really hurt McMahon with that sore shoulder in a couple of weeks.
Looking forward to seeing him. We played golf at the Diners Shore last year. Looking forward to seeing him next week. On the ball, bounces up. It may never have touched the ground. Here goes Paige. And Paige goes out of bounds inside the 20.
That's unbelievable. And they're talking about it way back. This may be called back. If it bounced up off somebody's foot, then Paige did make the reception, but I'm not sure that happened.
Paige is, I think he's just winded, though, isn't he? All right, now let's take another look.
Well, where does this ball bounce? Does it hit another player and bounce back up in the air?
All right, hits the Cardinal. Goes down, comes up. Now, did the ball hit the turf?
It's tough to tell from that particular angle. But a heads-up play anyway by Paige. I mean, he has no idea where it bounced, where it hit. He might as well go and give it a shot.
Yeah, we need to take another look at that. That's deservative of a deservative. That's a new word that I created for this play. That deserves another look. Now, the other question is the ball down? Is the pass incomplete? Or did the ball touch the ground? Let's look again.
All right, different side. Here's a better look.
Elbow. No, ball has not touched the ground.
No, it has not.
Ho, ho, ho.
A heads-up play by Paige.
All right. The ball never touched the ground. The elbow touched the ground. The ball came back up. Let's replay that angle just another time. That particular one. That's a great replay that Ken Edmondson and Harry Coyle have captured for us.
And that's Cedric Mack with the interception, near interception. When he hits the ground, the ball pound. Now, here's another question. Did he have position before he hit the ground? And when he hits the ground...
Did the ground cause the fumble?
Right.
Hey.
Did he or did he not? There's a lot of questions here for Fred Silva, our replay official, to call. I think that he does not have possession yet because he's on his way to the ground.
So the ball is still in play.
It's still in play, and I think the play should stand downfield with Stephone Paige pushed out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. And a flag was just thrown in the air by the officials.
And that's,
Based on review by the replay official, the play stands. It's an interception, first down.
So the ruling then is that he had possession, he hit the ground, and the ball the fumble was forced by the ground.
All right, now look at that again. What he is saying is that the Cardinals have the interception, and then when they come down, the ball is jarred loose by the ground. The ground cannot cause a fumble.
Now the question, does he have complete possession before he hits the ground?
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 20 on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
And Cedric Mack has his second interception.
And I looking at it again, it seemed we had a little closer angle that time. I have to agree with Fred Silva. It seemed like he did have a good possession of the ball before it hit the ground.
And the ground cannot cause a fumble.
Absolutely.
So the ball is dead there. Cedric Mack has his second interception. We have a mini controversy. They're always fun.
And we have an unsportsmanlike conduct called against the Kansas City Chiefs, so tack out another 15 yards.
I think that was on Deron Cherry, if I was correct. Is that right? We're checking that. I believe that's what he said. And so now St. Louis, they'll just run out the clock. Kansas City out of timeouts, and so that effectively is the end of the ball game. The final score here is St. Louis 23 and Kansas City 14. And so for the St. Louis Cardinals, their record now is 3-9, and for the Kansas City Chiefs, the struggle goes on. In the West, the record is 7-5. As Denver has lost, the Giants win. Chicago wins by 2. Cincinnati wins by 4. Cleveland in overtime. The victors. New England had to come from behind the last couple of minutes of that ball game. Houston wins. Detroit wins. Washington with a big lead, and the Rams in front of New Orleans. San Francisco. And stay tuned after these messages.
National fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines, serving 13 cities in Asia and the Pacific. United, a fresh breeze across the Pacific.